So that's kind of where we feel.
One of the most important things to remember, and sometimes the most difficult to consider, is the mesh rudder. It looks just like one of the transmitters, except the mesh rudder requires 115 volt power. So this needs to plug into a power outlet to be functional. If your transmitters are more than a few hundred feet away from a gateway, or if it's going through a lot of walls, or there's an elevator shaft with a lot of metal involved, you would want to consider quoting the mesh rudders. When we quote, we will usually quote more than we need. These will take all the signals within a circle of around 200 feet of all the transmitters and then take that signal and transmit it to the gateway. You can set up as many of these as you want between the gateway and the transmitters. And if you have an entire facility, all the units that are in the area can talk to a transmitter, the mesh rudder, and be able to send the signal over to the gateway. So quote several of these if you're not sure about the signal, and if they're not needed, we can certainly take them back. If they are needed, you'll be glad that you had them to be able to make sure that we're picking up the signal with the gateway. So typically when you're quoting, you will install a gateway on every floor. We do not want to go through floors between gateways. Normally we want to use as many gateways as possible so that wherever they have internet access, we want to bring in as many transmitters as we can into the area. So what you will have is a sheet that was sent with the launch of LabAlert that shows the layout of the facility, and the walkthrough and what they're trying to monitor will certainly help you with the quotation process. But once you get used to this process on what to quote and when to quote it, it's actually going to be second nature for you and fairly easy. But don't be afraid to ask us questions if you have any.